Happening now, the overturning of Roe v. Wade. We hear from locals in Jamestown who plan to express their discontent for the decision at the polls. And some relief at the pumps. We check in with local gas stations as prices slowly trickle down. Plus, a local manufacturing company makes New York State's historical business registry.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now as we kick off the last week of June. I'm Justin Gould. Political participation could be on the rise here in Jamestown following Roe v. Wade's overturning last week, with some locals vowing to take action at the ballot box. Our Bronson Rasmussen heard from protesters at a rally over the weekend, with many fearful of what's to come if they don't step up to make their voices heard.
The Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, removing the precedent that protected abortions at the federal level, in turn, has caused an uproar in the Jamestown community.
We have 30 plus people here in 3 hours. And like we said earlier, every single district has a graduation going on today, and I had 50 people that told me they couldn't come because they had a graduation. So, this is absolutely just, the surface level of the amount of people that we can gather.
I mean, we all knew it was coming. We've known for months now that it was coming, but I think that the first thing is just fear of what is coming next.
Going forward, many are fearful that more rulings could be on the chopping block. Decisions like Griswold v. Connecticut, Lawrence v. Texas, and Oberfell v. Hodges, which focuses on marital privacy with contraception, same-sex relationships, and gay marriage rights, respectively.
Write your local, state, national, federal politicians. Urge them to either expand the court or to abort the court, or President Biden has the ability to write an executive order decriminalizing abortion assistance.
Another way that one can take action is to participate in elections. Tuesday, New Yorkers will take to the polls for the gubernatorial primary.
What we need to do is when we vote and when we act and when we pick people that are going to run for office, pick people who are willing to fight and who are willing to dismantle an unjust system. That's what we have to do.
Some in Jamestown believe taking action even goes beyond protesting itself.
Well, we need hands because the people who've been fighting this for a long time are tired. So we're all tired, but we are the majority. All oppression is connected, and if we all unite our causes, we can change the country.
Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
Bronson, thank you. Another rally protesting the Supreme Court's decision overturning Roe v. Wade will be taking place next month here in Jamestown. The Jamestown Justice Coalition, who hosted that impromptu rally on Friday just hours following the court's decision, announced plans for the second demonstration today. Titled Rally for Reproductive Rights, the protest will take place on Sunday, July 10th at 11 in the morning. Starting at Jamestown's Dow Park, the march will head from the park to Tracy Plaza. While at City Hall, participants will hear from local leaders, advocates, and other residents who plan to speak out. The march will then eventually return to Dow Park, according to organizers. And the U.S. price, the average price for gasoline nationwide fell by 4 cents a gallon in the past 2 weeks to $5.05 for regular grade today. According to industry analysis, this was the first drop in 9 weeks and came with a drop in oil prices amid deepening global inflation fears. The average price at the pump as of Friday nationwide was still $1.90 higher than it was a year ago at this time. According to AAA, the average price of diesel rose 3 cents to $5.86.89 a gallon, Locally, the average price for a gallon of gas here in Chautauqua County is now $4.85 as of today. The statewide average price was $4.95 a gallon as well. And strong currents are creating dangerous swimming conditions on Lake Erie. The National Weather Service in Buffalo has issued a beach hazard statement for beaches of Chautauqua and southern Erie counties through tonight. Officials ask would-be swimmers to stay out of that water to avoid dangerous swimming conditions. Certainly all amid summertime temperatures where folks are trying to get out there and enjoy. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joining us now with a live look at Lake Erie there via the Erie Bayfront in Pennsylvania. And Dakota, today, albeit a nice day maybe if you wanted to hit the beach, I know they recommend probably not the best idea.
Yeah, today is one of those days where it's a good day to kind of stay out of the water, and you can see the camera bouncing here. This is the sky cam that's at the Erie Bayfront, and you can see the choppiness on Lake Erie as well. So again, if you have a beach trip planned today, just try your best to stay out of the water or stay close to shore, because obviously with these strong winds, we could be dealing with some high waves upwards of 7 feet at times as well. But the rain yesterday did do us a little bit of good with that little bit rain cooled air. 8/10 of an inch in the town of Cattaraugus, and most of the rain was actually across that southern section of Cattaraugus County and especially Warren County. That's where much of that rain was yesterday. But it's dry right now. Nothing showing up right now, but again, do have a few high clouds showing up, so we will call it mostly sunny for the on average today. 81 was the high yesterday, started the day at 59, 96, and 39 are the records. So partly to mostly sunny today, cooler and less humid. You're welcome, but there will be a nice breeze, 66 to 74 with wind gusts possibly near 30 miles an hour once again. So the cooler will stay in place for the next couple of days, and the humidity returns. We'll talk about where it's going with that Ultimate Satellite Solution 7-day forecast later on in the show, Justin.
Alrighty, Dakota, we'll see you back in just a bit. Thank you, sir. As we continue this half hour, we hear from a political candidate for governor here in New York who's speaking out following the vandalism of one of his campaign signs. And later, Special Olympics returning here in the Empire State. We check in with the games that drew hundreds to the state's southern tier over this past weekend. Stay with us. WNY News Now will be right back after this.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Stay fire safe this summer. Only use grills outdoors, away from siding and deck railings. Clean grills often and remove grease or fat buildup. Make sure your gas grill lid is open before lighting. Have a 3-foot safe zone around grills and campfires. Keep kids and pets clear of the area. Dispose of coals after they cool in a metal can. Never leave grills, fire pits, and patio torches unattended. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov.
Brought to you by the Chautauqua Safety Village and the Jamestown Fire Department.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
What is going on, my New York friends? My understanding is that you're in school for a little bit longer than most people, but I got some good news for you. Where are you going to be on September 10th? In Jamestown, New York, with me at 7 o'clock at the Reglena Theater, and you can get your tickets at reglena.com, REGLENNA.com. Make sure that you grab those now. It's going to be so much fun. Jamestown, New York, September 10th. Come and have fun with me.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Governor Kathy Hochul has signed 2 bills honoring LGBTQ Pride Month. The legislation establishes the Lorena Burgess Transgender Wellness and Equity Fund to support organizations that provide critical services for transgender, gender-conforming, and non-binary communities. It will add a non-binary gender X to the potential options for gender designations in elected positions that require elected people to be aware of varying genders. Additionally, Hochul has called for New York State lawmakers and landmarks to be illuminated in the colors of the LGBTQ plus pride flag and transgender flags on various nights until the end of the month. She wants to demonstrate New York's solidarity with the community. It also encourages that non-binary New Yorkers can fully participate in the democratic system. Congressman Lee Zeldin is speaking out after a Zeldin for New York campaign sign was vandalized with anti-Semitic death threats in Huntington, New York. Now, Zeldin is the Republican and Conservative Party designee for governor. With a win, Zeldin would be the first Jewish Republican governor of New York. A swastika was spray painted next to the numbers 187, which, as the California Penal Code number for murder, has been universally adopted as a common death threat nationwide. In a statement, he said, "In the United States, we settle our scores at the ballot box. This type of raw hate must never have any home on Long Island or elsewhere in our state or our country." Well, Special Olympics New York came to Ithaca over the weekend for the state summer games after COVID postponed the last 2 years of competition here in the Empire State. WNY's Sam Shapiro shares stories from that event.
The Special Olympics State Summer Games is officially underway here in Ithaca. Thousands of athletes came out here today to compete across 8 different sports. This Saturday, thousands of athletes from Special Olympics New York could participate in some basketball, bowling, gymnastics, powerlifting, swimming, tennis, and track and field events. Festivities kicked off with opening ceremonies last night at 7, with the slate of sports happening all day Saturday. The games are the largest statewide competition of the year for athletes with intellectual disabilities.
Our athletes are super excited to be back in the game. That's been the whole anthem of the year, getting back in the game. And I always say it is one thing to hear them talk about the sports they love, the friendships they form, and it's another thing to watch those in person.
Sponsors across New York help the nonprofit generate proceeds from the event, which funds athletic expenses for athletes. Coach Amber Mott expressed the importance of providing these resources for athletes.
Those proceeds stay within the state of New York for all of our athletes so that they don't have to pay for anything that goes into them coming to state games. There's no money at the family or their cost to be able to come and compete and have a great time for the weekend.
Now, athletes competed at various locations throughout the day, and while some were at Ithaca High School for a lap around the track, others came here to Ithaca College's Hill Center for some volleyball and gymnastics here in Ben Light Gymnasium. Athletes were also bowling at Midway Lanes in Vestal, New York from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. Powerlifting and tennis ran on campus throughout the day, in addition to basketball and swimming happening in the A&E Center. Many participants were excited to jump back into a field of competition after COVID canceled the games over the last 2 years.
Just hanging out with friends and family, and I'm finally really grateful that the Special Olympics finally had come to Ithaca.
And athletes, coaches, and spectators can look forward next to the state fall games coming this October to Glens Falls, New York. More information on how people can donate to Special Olympics New York will be posted on our website at WNY.com. Reporting from Ithaca, Sam Shapiro, WNY News.
Thank you, Sam. Such a great event to finally have back in the swing of things. Well, coming up, details on the local manufacturing company that has made New York State's historical business registry. But first, when we return, a full look at our week forecast ahead. Stay with us. WNY News Now. We'll be right back.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Right here, baby. Look. Uma.
Noah,
something more than a birthday is happening here. Once you can see it, you can help. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
Let's go.
you'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza. Yes.
Make a plan today.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Welcome back, everybody, and just wanted to review, we do have this beach hazard statement that is in effect for Chautauqua County. It is mainly for the shoreline communities. Obviously, as we talked about, it is breezy today, so we could be dealing with some pretty high chop out there. So there also is a small craft advisory for Lake Erie as well. So again, if you do have a beach trip planned, just stay near shore or just try to stay out of the water because it is choppy with waves 2 to 4 feet, building 3 to 7 feet. With a west wind 15 to 30 knots. The water temperature is 69 off Buffalo and 70 off Erie. Now the Tarp Skunks back home tonight, taking on the Niagara Power. It is also $2 night as well. So $2 admission, $2 drinks. It's $2 everything, I believe, but don't quote me on that. 60, yeah. 68 degrees at the first pitch at 6:30. By the 7th inning stretch, 64, and then we should drop into the upper 50s by the time the 9th inning comes around. So a nice night for baseball, partly cloudy, going mostly clear overnight. Hey, nice day out there right now. 67, breezy, west wind to 17. Again, breezy is the story today with a wind gust of 23, but there's that dew point at 47, so it's comfortable. But the muggies are going to be returning. Look at the muggy meter here. We're going to stay comfortable through tomorrow. There will be a slight tick up in the humidity on Wednesday, but still remaining pleasant. Thursday and Friday, that's when it turns more humid again. We're getting more tropical by the time we go through Friday. So, yeah, the muggies will be returning. But it's summer. It's supposed to be hot and humid, but this is that strong cold front that moved through overnight. So that's why our wind direction has shifted, and that's why it's much cooler today. And notice not really much of anything going out across the eastern Great Lakes. So the newest run of the computer modeling basically just paints that idea for you. Really nothing. It does show a couple little blobs. Those are not going to materialize. Now, as we go through the overnight hours, it will turn mainly clear. The clouds will start to part away. Mainly clear skies through the overnight. Tomorrow starts dry, then another looker coming up for tomorrow. Partly to mostly sunny skies through the day on Tuesday. And then we'll keep it going into Wednesday. Although Wednesday, we do increase the rain chances just a little bit up to 25%. So just keep that in mind. So tomorrow we start around 48, cooler. 68 at noon, 74 at 5 o'clock with a good amount of sunshine. Now the future, next 7 days, powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. So we're up to 74 tomorrow. There's that chance for a shower on Wednesday, 77. The sun returns in good supply on Thursday, but more humid. It turns near tropical on Friday with a couple scattered showers and thunderstorms, 80 on Saturday. We do cool down a little bit, Justin, by Sunday, where we have a chance for an isolated shower, but temperatures in the upper 70s.
All right, summer really setting in there, Dakota. Thank you. Real quickly, I did do some verification for you. $2 night, correct. Bleacher seats, hot dogs, and beer, all $2.
So basically almost everything is $2.
Much. I assume some food items probably would be a little more, but hot dogs, beer, and those bleacher seats.
Everything you need, folks.
Yeah, really. What else do you need at a baseball?
But, of course, if you drink, do what Tracy Bird says. Drink, don't drive. No, wait, yeah. If you drink, don't drive, do the watermelon crawl.
Yep. Be sure to find a ride home and do it responsibly. Thank you, Dakota. Well, let's now get some headlines from across our nation. And President Biden, he signed into law the first major federal gun safety legislation in decades. Biden signed this bipartisan measure on Saturday in the Roosevelt Room of the White House as he finished saying, "God willing, it's going to save a lot of lives," end quote. The bill received final passage in the House Friday with 14 Republican votes. It followed the Senate's green light in a vote late Thursday. The package includes millions of dollars for school safety and mental health and crisis intervention programs. There are chances for the process to buy a firearm for people 18 to 21. The measure also closes the so-called boyfriend loophole in domestic violence law. The president acknowledges that the legislation does not cover everything he's asked for, including for a bail on assault-style weapons. Lawmakers' actions to address gun violence comes in the wake of deadly mass shootings in Buffalo and Uvalde, Texas. And some Americans fear they could lose more than the federal right to abortion. They're concerned about birth control and same-sex marriage becoming illegal in some places. That's because something Justice Clarence Thomas wrote in his Supreme Court decision. Now, when the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, the fear is that many emotions resulting from the ruling. Now, reactions are very emotional here and at times, sometimes violent. The Supreme Court ruling that overturns Roe v. Wade. Now, some are thanking former President Donald Trump for appointing conservative justices to the High Court. Other Americans say they're afraid of what other rights they might lose next. In the majority opinion, Justice Samuel Alito says the ruling only involves abortion, but the concurring opinion from Justice Clarence Thomas goes a little further. He challenges the related legal bias that guarantees access to contraceptives and same-sex marriage. Now, a poll from CBS News and YouGov taken after the decision was released captures the fears of Americans. 57% of respondents say they believe it's now at least somewhat likely the court will eventually end or limit same-sex marriage. 55% say they feel the same way about birth control and contraceptives. That poll also shows 59% disagree with the overall overturning of Roe v. Wade. International news, the G7 Global Summit underway now in Germany. President Biden and other G7 leaders are facing an entirely new challenge than they last met. The table for the summit being set by Russia's invasion of Ukraine and that ongoing war. Cole Higgins has the latest on how these G7 nations are now responding to the conflict.
Explosions rocking the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv early Sunday. Russian missiles hitting a residential area, including the backyard of a kindergarten and a 9-story apartment block, trapping some under the rubble of their homes. Police say at least one person is dead and 6 more injured as search and rescue operations continue.
Losing loved ones is the worst fate, she said. We do not deserve this.
Ukrainian officials say the multiple airstrikes may be a possible message from Russian President Vladimir Putin as G7 leaders gather in Germany for their annual summit. U.S. President Joe Biden and British Prime Minister Boris Johnson formally announcing Sunday that the G7 countries will ban the import of Russian gold, the country's second largest export after energy. Biden with a clear message for his G7 counterparts.
Putin has been counting on from the beginning, and somehow NATO would and the G7 would splinter, but we haven't, and we're not going to.
UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson urging the U.S. to keep up the pressure on Putin.
This is something that America historically does and has to do, and that is to step up for peace and freedom and democracy. And if we let Putin get away with it and just annex, conquer sizable parts of a free, independent, sovereign country, then the consequences for the world are absolutely catastrophic.
I'm Cole Higgins reporting.
Cole, thank you. Next here, Senator Borrello making a stop in Chautauqua County to honor a centuries-year-old manufacturing company. We tell their story next.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now. When severe weather breaks, one team has you covered, tracking the storms as they happen. Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
Slow down, and move over.
Move over. When you see signs,
Lights,
vests,
Please, give us some room.
slow down.
slow down and move over.
When you need help,
It's our job
to help you,
to save you.
despite the danger.
This danger is real. Do your part.
Please,
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
move over.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
One of the first industrial employers in the village of Falconer is receiving statewide recognition for their more than 2 centuries of operation. WNY News Now's Alyssa Wright shares the story.
State Senator George Borrello paid a visit to Fancher Chair on Friday to present them with an award adding the furniture manufacturer to New York State's Historic Business Preservation Registry.
An amazing event. So the state created something through the Historic Parks and Reservation and Historic Preservation, a new program which is a historic business registry here in New York State. They are truly a business that stands out, not just here in Chautauqua County, not just here in New York State, but worldwide. And I'm very proud that we were able to get them listed as one of the first 100 historic business registries here in New York State.
To be considered for the registry, a business must have been in operation for at least 50 years. And Fancher Chair has been open for 215 years, and according to employees, is still going strong.
That's what's kept us going, I think, is just the ability to evolve and change from not just stuck in one thing. The owners have always had the ability to adapt to what the market needs.
To be recognized for their work and dedication, furniture builders were overjoyed.
It's a great accomplishment for the company, for the community, and for the longevity of woodworking in this area.
It's an honor to be here. I mean, as long as the company's been around, but to be honored by the state and have them come in and give this award, it's truly an honor for the company.
No one seemed more proud of the company's accomplishments than the owner himself.
This is quite an honor for the company, and I really think it's an honor for the employees. You know, there's been a lot of employees that have worked here over 215 years, and it's through their dedication and their work and the efforts that they've put in that we've been a successful company. You can have all the greatest equipment and the greatest ideas, but if you don't have the people behind it that are willing to put the effort in and be conscientious, it's not going to work.
Alyssa Wright, WNY News Now.
All right, Alyssa, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And it's such a cool thing to see that they've been going in one form or another for 2 centuries. And a lot of people, if you don't know, in addition to being known for Lucy here in our neck of New York State, it's the trees and the furniture industry. Jamestown, Falconer, all the areas have really been known for. I know Fancher Chair, a huge part of Falconer's side of that, being at one point, the majority of the village was that manufacturing hub. So it's really great to see, and good to see that they'll get some recognition there at the state level. I'm kind of surprised it didn't happen earlier, but I guess that's one of those things, right, where you don't know until it happens. So here it is. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Of course, news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. We'll leave you with this live look over Lakewood. Have a wonderful day. See you back here tomorrow.